to the Teaching Practice 1 B.Ed Foundation phase. I am Dr. Moshaba, the lecturer for your module TPF2601. In this recording, we are going to talk about the following: communication with the lecturer support, critical administration matters, orientation into teaching practice, 2024 tutorial letters and assessments, and critical points contributing to positive results. Under communication, please know that you can contact your lecturer in the following ways. Through telephone, the number is 012-429-4314. You can also send me an email to my email address, which reads as follows: emoshap@unisa.ac.za. Please always include your module name, your name, and student number in the communication. Always use my live email. Otherwise, I am not going to respond to your email if you don't use my live email. Let's talk about the teaching practice school placement. The teaching practice schools placement. Please note that you are not supposed to call or send any email to your lecturer regarding any teaching practice placement related matters. All the communication regarding the teaching practice placement matters in schools must be communicated with your TP administrator allocated to your module. The administrator is Mr. Ramoba. The email address is ramobpt@unisa.ac.za, and you can also call your administrator in this number 012-481-2805. Should you encounter any challenges regarding your placement, such as if the school is not on the list, please submit the principal letter, which is in the tutorial letter 102, to the provincial coordinator. The contact for the provincial coordinator is indicated in this statement is in your tutorial letter 102. Again, if the new system is not working, also submit the principal permission letter to the coordinator on the email. Do not use the teachprec@unisa.ac.za email. It is not functional. Additional email for assistance is Mr. Masango and Mrs. Mbuke. You can also contact the two should you experience challenges regarding the teaching practice school placement, such as you are not receiving your placement letters. And as I've already indicated, if the school is not receiving any information from UNISA or if the school is not in the list for teaching practice placements. Communication rules and regulation information. Ensure that your My Life email address is active and use it for all correspondence with lecturers and administration. Materials are accessible online. Do not wait for dispatch to deliver for you or claim that you have not contacted them since the beginning of the year. All submissions should be online. No hard copies will be accepted. Adhere to due dates. No exceptions or special treatment will be granted. Also note that work integrated learning has no supplement or aggregate. If you fail the module, if you don't submit on time, know that you will not get another opportunity. You only submit once. no remarking of portfolios, no email submission. These will be ignored and not marked. Please note that attendance register should be attached to all documents. I'm referring to assessment 2, assessment 50, and 51. You can use one register that is signed by the principal and by the school, or rather by the mentor teacher. Then you can make copies of that register and make sure that you paste the register in all the assessment. But please make sure that there is a register in assessment 2, assessment 50, and assessment 51. If there is no register in one of these assessments, the assessment will not be marked. You will be automatically penalized. Okay, summary for communication. Number 1, I've indicated that you must use your My Life email. Always refer to the module code. Please check announcements and activities on the announcements. You must always visit the Moodle platform. Please familiarize yourself with features and announcements. Lecturer support. The lecturer will support you in the form of study materials posted on MyUnisa, where all assessments will be included. We'll also support you through discussion forums, where you as a student can post questions for your lecturer to assist you with any challenges you face in the module. Also ensure that you visit the module platform frequently. Communication will further be through Microsoft Meetings, where you will be expected to book slots on a scheduler on the Moodle platform, webinars, TP video links, bulk emails. Any other communication on the announcements tool must be read on a regular basis, including your emails, where we will post messages as well. Let's see the purpose of the module. Number 1, it gives you the opportunity to acquaint yourself with formal teaching. The module also assists you to be in a practical school situation. You will also get the opportunity to apply the theoretical knowledge that you've learned from your module into a practical school situation. It focuses on the practical application of the various teaching and learning strategies. Now let's go to the study material. In the study material, you are going to have a tutorial letter 101, which has the general information about the module. Please familiarize yourself with this tutorial letter before contacting the lecturer regarding any question. The information is in tutorial letter 102. Again, we have a tutorial letter 102. The purpose of this tutorial letter is from the teaching practice, placement, and forms. In this tutorial letter, you will get the forms for teaching practice placement. You will get guidance regarding placement forms, SAYS, and all other TP administrative matters. As such, you must address all the placement queries to your workstation provincial coordinator, which is in page 4 of this tutorial letter. So students, please, this tutorial letter will assist you in all your teaching practice placement related matters. So now, read the tutorial letter before contacting the lecturer. Any other teaching practice related matters must be communicated with the teaching practice office. As I've indicated before, you have a a coordinator for this module, TPF2601, Mr. Ramoba. If you cannot get hold of Mr. Ramoba, there are also people that you can contact from this tutorial letter, which is in page 4. Now, let's see the assessments. We have 4 assessments in this module. Assessment 1. In your assessment 1, let me start by emphasizing the due date for assessment 1 is on Wednesday, the 15th of May, 2024 at 11 p.m. Please take note of the due date and also note that there will be no due date extension. If you do not manage to submit your assessment by the due date, take it that you've already failed the assessment. I also get emails from the students who have the impressions that the due date for assessment 1 was in March. No, please make sure that you check all the due dates for all your assessments and put them in your calendar. Do not operate on hearsays and say that students are saying that the due date is this and that. No, you must check for yourself and plot the dates in your calendar. So now going back to assessment 1, the due date is 15 May. Then what is the purpose for this assessment 1? The purpose for assessment 1 is for exam admission. And it also contributes 10% towards the year mark. If you get 100 out of 100, it doesn't mean that you already have 100%. Only 10% from that 100 marks will contribute to your year mark. Again, if you fail to submit assessment 1 by the due date, you will not be able to submit your exam, which in this module is your portfolio 50 and 51. So the purpose of this assessment is for exam admission. So make sure that you submit assessment 1 so that you can submit your portfolios and pass the module. Assessment 2. Assessment 2 also contributes 10% towards your year mark. Now, assessment 1 and assessment 2, both of them, they contribute 20% towards your year mark. Check the due date. The due date for assessment 2 is 27 August 2024 at 11 p.m. Do not wait for last minute to submit your assessment. Make sure that you submit your assessment a week before to be on the safe side. So now, assessment 2, you will submit your assessment 2 when you have completed your teaching practice at school. The due date for this assessment is in August. And 27 August is the due date for all your assessment, together with a portfolio 50 and 51. In our assessment 2, you must submit the forms that are indicated in these tutorial letters. I will explain about assessment 2 in our next video. Then we have assessment 3, which is your portfolio. The purpose for this assessment is a summative exam, as I've indicated before. This is your exam. When you complete and submit this assessment, it means that you are submitting your exam. If you do not submit, you will not pass this module. This assessment alone contributes 40% towards the final mark. And again, take note of the due date, which is again the 27th August 2024 at 11 p.m. Now, if we look on the due date, you can see that this due date is the same as the assessment 2 due date, meaning that this assessment 2, assessment 3, and also assessment 4, they are all due in one day. But still, okay, let me talk about assessment 4 before I explain further. Assessment 4 is also your summative examination, which is a portfolio. It contributes 40% towards your final mark. Assessment 4 and assessment 3 together, they contribute 80%. So when we make our calculations, we have assessment 4 with 80% assessment, rather portfolios, which is assessment 3 and 4. They contribute 80%. And we have assessment 1 and 2. They contribute 20%. And together for the 4 assessments, you have 100%. Again, the due date for assessment 4 is Tuesday, 27 August 2024 at 11 p.m., meaning that on the 27th of August, you should have submitted assessment 2, assessment 3, and assessment 4. Please don't wait for this day to submit. You can submit anytime when you are finished with your teaching practice. Say you complete your teaching practice in June, you can submit anytime when you have completed. You don't have to wait for August. Now, this is the summary of the assessment that I was talking about. You have a year mark, which is 20%. The year mark, you get it from assessment 1 and assessment 2. Again, you have portfolios, a portfolio 50 and 51. They all contribute 80%, which is 100% of your module. For this module, you are expected to do grade R, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3 for 25 weeks. These 25 weeks, you can do it into 5 consecutive weeks, or if you are unable to take 5 consecutive weeks, you can break it into 2 consecutive weeks in grade R and later do 3 consecutive weeks in grade 1, 1 week grade 1, 1 week grade 2, and 1 week grade 3. You have to be in all the grades, each grade per week. Also note that you can only submit online. You cannot email any of your workbooks or assessment to your lecturer. Also note that all the workbooks, including assessment 2, you must put a register where the register is supposed to be. Without a register, you will get a 0. Automatically, we don't mark that way workbook because we take it and assume that you did not go to school. This is the only proof that we use to check if the student indeed went to do the teaching practice in the school. Again, if there's no school stamp in your register, we do not mark your workbook. You will get a 0. Late assignments, the system will not allow you to submit. As such, you will fail and get a 0 for that module, for that workbook. Incorrect assignment is a 0. And again, note that there will be no extension. You must make sure that you submit before the due date to avoid disappointment. Please note that the register should have authentic signatures with complete dates. With the date must have a date, a month, and a year, and a dated stamp. Non-adherence to this is an immediate fail. Lastly, let me say, a perfect method for adding drama to life is to wait until the deadline looms large. This is quote by Alice P. Cohn. Thank you.